In that video, I talk about the cycles. And so briefly, the market has experienced cycles. Today, we are specifically talking about Kilimani Lavington area.
The increase in buildings around these areas with the recent rains we've experienced, the floods.
Yes.
What's not.
Areas is very bad in that some social amenities like playground, places that are meant for recreation have been grabbed.
Yeah.
The urban planning is supposed to be designed in such a way that it gives people a place they can live comfortably. If you travel in other countries, you'll see that some countries have had some good zoning rules and they've allowed for that. There are parks. Plot to building ratio. Basically, plot to building ratio is how much property can cover a plot.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. Today we will be talking about property trends in Kilimani and its environs. And I would like for this gentleman here to introduce himself.
Thank you. My name is Gitonga. I'm the founder and CEO of KITO. KITO is a real estate agency that is a franchise model, the first franchise model in Kenya. And we help agents to build their own businesses, but also the agents serve clients who like buyers, sellers, landlords, tenants, investors, manage property. So KITO, that's all it's about. It's an agency. It's a business within it has agents who do business within a business, and we love to help people find homes. The ones that being completed 2027, 2028, 2029 have more of 2 beds and 3 beds being developed as compared to 2-3 years ago.
After my next question was why are we seeing the studios, 1 beds, 2 beds getting a higher rental yields as compared to the bigger apartments?
Airbnbs. 95% of these studios and 1 beds are being taken up by Airbnb people. Either they buy, furnish, and rent them for Airbnbs, or Airbnb investors come and sublet and rent them out. So that has pushed, especially the rent. It has pushed the rent up. And then the demand for Airbnb is still there. We have a lot of foreigners in the country right now. Just want to if you want to know how many foreigners there are there, take a walk in the malls and the streets in Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Lavington, Westlands. There's an increase. I mean, it feels like a tenfold increase from the time I started real estate. There's an increase.
And recently we found out that quite a number of foreigners are buying units.
Yes. In fact, the diaspora appetite, that's Kenyans who are abroad, is very high. There are quite a huge number that is buying. And then there are also East Africa, Central, West Africa buying into Kenya, amazingly, because even though we may complain about our country, people look up to Kenya as one of the developing nations, one of the, nice nations to live in or to invest in. So quite a number of them are investing here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
With that said, could you probably give us a prediction of what the future looks like?
Yeah, I can give a prediction. Before I do, let me speak a little bit about the landscape. So just to recap, we moved from single dwelling, townhouses. These are houses which are attached or semi-detached. That means you could it's a house that shares a wall with another house, or both sides or on one side. Then we move to apartments, 4-story, few in a compound, 15, 12, 18 in a compound. In the same compound today, where one could fit 12 units, now we have 200 units. In a case where we had 4 floors, now we have 18 floors. Okay? It's not bad as long as the zoning rules are done correctly, as long as you watch how you are building next to your neighbor. If you're a buyer, you have to watch where you're buying, and ask yourself who's going to develop next door, and will they be mindful of me who has a window facing their compound, those kind of things. The other thing is we have to ask ourselves is how will the infrastructure look like? I know the government is working on it. How soon? I don't know. What I can tell you is with the Kibaki government, we were assured the road will come up. Those plans are going on well, and I can see there are still plans going on. So your realtor can advise you very well on that. And then, so now we have that shift, but also we need to appreciate that there is foreign investments, and there's a lot of value addition, malls and everything. I would advise people not to miss out on that because our city is growing. So it's good to look at cities, developed nations, and honestly, I admire how they've done their zoning rules. Their buildings are far apart, but they can build as high as 40, 50 floors. But the next building will hardly cast a shadow on the next one because of how they've been designed. So that's another thing. We're going to have shadows being cast on another building. Some lower floors will be cold and because of the shadows. Those are things to consider. So that's how the landscape is looking like. I foresee people, what I've noticed is developers now are trying to create space around their building or inside the building so that they maintain their value. In as much as probably if they go and talk to the county, they might get permission to build very close to the beacon. They know now if they build too close to the beacon, buyers will not accept to buy the properties that will have an obstruction. So they are adjusting, which is a good thing. And I give credit to those developers who know how to adjust to the market demands and trends. Because even us as agents and buyers, there are things we see and tell them, this is not good. We are telling them, no, but my clients will not take these units because they're being obstructed. So we've seen a whole floor line of floors vacated, especially those sides of Riverside, Westlands, because of a building that's coming up next to that's too close. And if it's someone is renting, they have no obligation to stay there. They'll just move. So the good thing is the market is adjusting itself. The environment is adjusting itself. So it's good to stay on the lookout and ask yourself what's going on, what's changing. Some developers now are moving out of Nairobi, out the outskirts of Nairobi, or the outskirts of Nairobi, which is also good because we are supposed to develop those areas. And as roads networks increase, that will make living much easier, commute easier for people. So that's how the landscape looks like. So if you ask me how to predict, it's a hard thing to do. But I would say if you were to follow the cycles, we're in the valley, about to go up. But then again, that depends. The world has become so unpredictable. I would say we need to be expectant of the worst so that we can prepare ourselves. No opportunity meets someone who's prepared. So we need to prepare ourselves very, very well for the future, for the best and for the worst, both. I also see a trend where we've been discussing this. So I lead a group, a mastermind group of real estate professionals from different companies. We meet once every month. And some of the things we've seen is this. You can only have a certain number of Airbnbs and then hit a plateau. Now that's a no-brainer. The increase of supply, demand will decrease at some point. People are enjoying some good rental yields right now. with the studios and one beds. But that will come and correct itself, just like we've seen in the past. So I'm using the past or the history to inform us of the future. So where people are gathering rent of as much rental yield per annum of as much as 8 to 9%, in some cases 10%, you're going to see that correct itself back to the 6% that you are used to. For a long period, rental yield was 6%. That units in the market still collect 6%, but the new ones, because of the demand of Airbnb, they are collecting as much as 8 to 9%. How long will that take? I don't know. But it almost feels like we are about to hit the plateau, because the Airbnb guys, once they find something newer, fancy, they vacate and move.
Yeah.
So then the people are left with a vacant unit. So some correction has already begun.
Yeah.
So if that trend continues, and Kenya I remember we used to have these booths, telephone booths, mobile telephone booths. If you're in town, you'll pay someone, you call.
Yeah.
And there became so many, saturated, and then we lost that because cheaper phones came. People were able to afford cheap phones. I remember airtime used to be 2,500. Now you can buy airtime with 5 bob through M-Pesa. So when the airtime when there's that kind of airtime, and then people started selling airtime. Kenyans just like to pick a wave and trend and run with it, and then they all disappeared. I'll say, let's be careful how we rush into investment, or not even be careful. It's okay to invest, but have an exit plan. Yeah, have an exit plan, have an expectation in the future. If the rent drops, it should drop, because you can always, we are good at, Kenyans are good at morphing and adjusting to the environment, and so are the developers. We adjust and have something new come up that will help us keep the rent high, but should it not stay at the same annual rental yield, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
If you're on mortgage, then you need to plan yourself well enough. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a wealth of knowledge that you've given us
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
So guys, we've also done a video on real estate cycles. So we'll put a link to the video down below, and you can go back and watch it to understand where and how our conversation started today.
So I think I like to let them know that you can contact us, and we put our details below, our website, our telephone number. Should you want to contact us for a session to consult on your best buy, or how best to position your property to sell, if you need a comparative market analysis, if you need just some guidance in this market, our team is able. We have a good team of estate agents who can help you to navigate this journey, to navigate the future. So please feel free to contact us. You can call our office, or you can call them, ask the agents directly, and they will assist you. Thank you.